All right, let's get right into it. We're going to crack open what looks like an investigator's file to really break down a high-risk, marriage-based green card case. We're going to see it from the inside out, how the officer who decides the case analyzes all the evidence, connects the dots, and ultimately figures out if a relationship is the real deal or if it's just a shortcut to a green card. And look, that quote isn't just for show. According to legal experts, this is a very, very real warning for people whose cases are just full of red flags. It really sets the scene for the kind of intense, high-stakes pressure that's waiting for you when an officer's gut tells them something is off. You have to understand, for the immigration authorities, a marriage application isn't just some administrative checkbox. No, it's the official start of a deep dive investigation. You know that marriage certificate? That's just the cover of the book. Their real job is to read every single page that comes after and see if the story actually makes sense. And this is exactly where that investigator mindset kicks in. Every single piece of paper, every date, every answer you give has to fit together into one solid story. And their whole job is to test that story, to poke holes in it, check for consistency, and ultimately to decide if it's believable. So let's see how this whole investigation gets built piece by piece, starting with the very first one, how the person actually got into the United States in the first place. Believe it or not, this one little detail can completely change how risky a case looks before the officer even glances at anything else. Okay, so this is a really big deal. Entering on a visa means you've already been through some screening overseas. But coming in on the Visa Waiver Program, or VWP, that's a different story. When you use that, you are literally signing away your right to see an immigration judge if you overstay. So for an investigator, seeing a VWP overstay isn't just a minor detail, it's a massive crack in the foundation of their case, signaling high risk from the get-go. And that leads right into this key idea: preconceived intent. The big question is, did this person use a temporary pass like the VWP as a backdoor to move here for good? An officer is going to put what the person said at the border right next to what they actually did right after they arrived. They're looking for that mismatch, that little clue that says they had a hidden plan all along. So this is the number one question an investigator is going to look at. I mean, if you tell the border officer you're coming for a 2-week vacation to see the sights, but then you get married 3 days after you land, well, that's a huge red flag. The story you tell at the border has to match your actions. Otherwise, the credibility of your entire case is in serious doubt right from the start. All right, next step, the investigator lays everything out on a timeline. This is where the story of the relationship gets put to the test against cold, hard dates. The sequence of events can paint a picture of a real, developing romance, or it can look like a marriage of pure convenience. Just look at how these facts stack up. It's like a pattern of risk that just keeps getting worse. First, a 12-year overstay. That shows a long, long history of being out of status. Then you throw in this whirlwind romance where they get engaged after only 3 days. And the cherry on top? They didn't even live together until right before they filed paperwork. I mean, each one of these is a red flag, but together, they paint a really, really suspicious picture. So you have to put yourself in the adjudicator's shoes for a second. What's the most likely story here? To them, this looks a whole lot less like a real relationship and a whole lot more like a business deal. It's just the main reason for the marriage wasn't love, but a desperate, last-ditch effort to fix a very serious, decade-long immigration problem. You know, with a timeline that shaky, you would need a mountain of flawless evidence to convince an officer. And that brings us right to the paperwork, the documents that are supposed to prove the story. And this is usually where a high-risk case like this one just completely implodes. Now we're getting into the legal stuff. Material misrepresentation. And this isn't about a simple typo or getting a date wrong. Oh no, this is about knowingly giving false information, or just as bad, strategically hiding a crucial fact. like a secret arrest record or a fake document, that would have absolutely changed the officer's decision if they'd known the truth. And these examples right here show you just how serious we're talking. That first one, it's a classic case killer. You hand over what looks like a filed tax return, but it was never actually sent to the IRS. That's not a mistake, that is a deliberate attempt to deceive. And it's the same thing with hiding a criminal past or pretending you live together when all the bills and leases prove you don't. These aren't just little inconsistencies, they're fraud. And right at this point, the game has completely changed. We are no longer just talking about getting a green card approved or denied. Handing fraudulent documents to a federal agency is a potential crime. This can get you a referral to criminal investigators for immigration fraud, which could lead to prosecution, jail time, and being permanently banned from ever immigrating. The stakes could not be higher. So this brings us to the end game, the final judgment. How does an officer take all these messy pieces, the risky way they entered, the super suspicious timeline, fraudulent documents, and put it all together to make a final call? Well, they use this legal standard called the totality of the circumstances. And basically all that means is they're not looking at any one problem in a vacuum. They're looking at the whole picture, the cumulative weight of all the evidence. In a case like this, you have the weak foundation of a VMBO overstay, you combine that with a highly suspect timeline, and you top it all off with straight-up fraudulent paperwork. It all adds up to one overwhelming logical conclusion: this application just isn't approvable. So I'll leave you with this question. In a file that has this many problems, what's the one thing that truly sinks it? Is it the risky VWP entry, the 3-day engagement? Well, they're all bad for sure. But that intentional fake tax document, that's likely the point of no return. It shows a crystal clear willingness to lie to the government. And that is an act that very, very few immigration cases can ever come back from. It turns a case with red flags into a case of clear-cut fraud.